The advanced cross vCenter vMotion capability really helps in situations where you need to move workloads, VMs, from a vCenter server, a source in a specific SSO domain, a single sign-on domain, into another SSO domain and another vCenter server instance. In this specific case, this applies to vSphere infrastructure on-prem and VMware Cloud on AWS as well. Now we have multiple ways of migrating. HCX, Hybrid Cloud Extension, is probably the most sophisticated way of doing migrations because there's a lot of orchestration and automation involved as well. But there might be situations where the advanced cross vCenter vMotion capability really helps. There's two workflows that we can utilize in this specific scenario. We have the import from function, so initiated from the destination vCenter server, and we can import or bulk import virtual machines from the source vCenter server instance. Now we also can initiate a migration from the source as well and choose the migrate to workflow. It's good to understand that the source can be vSphere 6.0 update 3 because that is the release when we first shipped the API for cross vCenter vMotion in vSphere. Now, the advanced cross vCenter vMotion capability and its integration in the vSphere client is something that has been done since vSphere 7 update 1C. When you are using VMware Cloud on AWS, you can select import from and migrate to from within the vSphere client. Let's take a closer look at what this looks like in real life. For this demo, I have two lab environments. This is my on-prem data center, a couple of vSphere 7 hosts running a couple of virtual machines. We also have a VMware Cloud on AWS SDDC setup. Remember when I said HCX is probably the most sophisticated way of doing migrations? Remember that it is included with VMware Cloud on AWS. But there might still be situations where the advanced cross vCenter vMotion capability really helps. So let's check out the first workflow and migrate app 01, the database, and the web server as well. And for the sake of the argument, let's make sure that we ping this IP address while we are migrating it from on-prem environment into VMware Cloud on AWS. For this, I created a layer 2 extension network, in this specific case using HCX, but you can do the same thing with NSX, for example. Let's go to the VMware Cloud on AWS side, and on the cluster, right mouse click and select Import VMs. Here we can select a saved vCenter server. Remember, this is only saved within the same user session. Otherwise, you'll be needing to log in again. So let's select the on-prem vCenter server instance and select the 01 virtual machines. Now notice that we also have an option to do a clone operation instead of just migrating. For this demo, we'll migrate, but it is good to understand that you can also clone the virtual machines into VMware Cloud on AWS. On the destination side, let's select cluster and the appropriate resource pool in this example. Notice that there's quite some compatibility checks, like with regular vMotion, to ensure that the migration will be successful. Let's select the appropriate workload data store, folder if any, and the network. Now remember that I just told you that I extended this network, this specific VLAN with HCX in this example. So the destination network that matches this on-prem network is actually this one. You might see a compatibility warning, and in this specific case, that is because we're moving a virtual machine from a VDS, a distributed switch, into an NSX-backed switch. Let's select the high priority, meaning that vMotion on the destination side will already reserve compute resources for the incoming virtual machine that is to be live migrated. Let's hit finish. And what we'll see now is that we have a couple of initiated receive operations. Remember, we're now moving a virtual machine, live migrating a virtual machine from the on-prem environment into VMware Cloud on AWS. So the vCenter server instance in VMware Cloud on AWS is receiving this vMotion request. If we check out the on-prem environment, what we'll see is a relocation happening. So we see that the active state is being migrated, and that this specific virtual machine is already reserving resources for the vMotion operation on the destination side of things. We already see that the virtual machines are being created on the destination side, and we see a timeout, but there's no interference with this specific virtual machine. And because I'm pinging from the on-prem environment, you'll see that the latency for this specific IP address just went up because we're now talking into a VMware Cloud on AWS instance that is located in another region than where the on-prem environment is. So we see that the receive operations are completed, but we don't see a powered on sign just yet. And that is because when we explore the on-prem environment, we still see that the active state is still being live migrated. So that's something to be aware of. Just give it a couple of minutes, depending on bandwidth, depending on workload stress, to finish off this live migration. Now that the live migrations are completed, we see that all the virtual machines we just migrated using the advanced cross vCenter vMotion capability are running well on the VMware Cloud on AWS side of things. Now this is the first workflow. We have another option as well. When we select the source, in this specific case, the on-prem environment, we have these virtual machines, right? What we can do is either select one or multiple, whatever is required, and we can hit right mouse button and choose migrate, like you would with typical vMotion operations as well. What you'll see here is that we now have added the cross vCenter vMotion export. Same option with the possibility of cloning that specific virtual machine. So logging into the destination vCenter server instance, now the VMware Cloud on AWS side of things, we see the exact same things. So again, cluster, a potential resource pool that we want to migrate into, and basically the same workflow as you would see with the import workflow. So there it is, a really nifty and easy way to live migrate workloads and even bulk migrate workloads from an on-prem infrastructure into VMware Cloud on AWS without the need for hybrid link mode or anything like that. It is two completely different SSO domains between vCenter servers. And remember, again, this is a live migration. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for our TechZone site for more cool demos.